All right. So it seems like most people that join arm wrestling probably haven't done a sport in quite a while, and they don't stay arm wrestling because they cannot deal with the pain. I'm sure there's plenty of memes out there, right? Pain is weakness leaving the body. I guess you could say that. I mean, you know, that's one way of putting it. But what I like to say is pain does not equal weakness, right? Just because something hurts does not mean that you're not strong. It just means that it takes more effort for you to push past that pain point, right? And you'll realize if you can do it, that you weren't weak. So it's a mental battle. On my team, we talk a lot about healing, trying to be better so that we can perform the best that we can. Because let's face it, most people that get into arm wrestling end up wanting to compete. You want to be able to compete as much as possible, right? Why go through all this pain and agony and all this stuff to just be in pain and agony? No. At least on my team, most of us we want to compete, right? You also want to do this for as long as you can, and it's one of the sports that you can do well into your 50s, right? So there's longevity, but you have to do it smart, right? And I think the most important part of training any sport is your rehab. Rehabilitation is the biggest part. And I'm not talking when you get injured, I'm talking about regular soreness, regular pain that you have from just max effort training. You're still going to develop soreness, you're still going to get that lactic acid built up, lactate, that needs to be processed through the liver and all that. I'm going to give a couple of things that I do to help me stay as high as possible in my training, right? You want to be able to train near peak at any given time. So rest is number one, right? I would say it takes about 3 days, 3 full days to get your tendons rested. So that means if you train on Wednesday night, you probably will not be able to put out the same amount of effort that you did when you started practice on Wednesday until Saturday at the same time that you started practice on Wednesday, right? So if you practice at 7 p.m., you probably won't be able to put out that same effort until Saturday at 7 p.m. And that's only if you hadn't gone hard in the gym in between, right? Or you had another practice in between. So 3 days rest. If you are a brand new arm wrestler and you've been arm wrestling for 6 to 8 months, I would say take 4 to 5 full days off from anything. I'm talking anything. Like arm wrestle Wednesday, do not arm wrestle again for 5 days, right? Don't go to the gym, don't do anything because it's going to prolong your healing and you're going to feel like garbage. And it's going to slow down the ability for you to grow, right? Because tendons are completely different from muscle. They take a longer time to build and it takes less time for you to get them to activate, right? But it takes longer for them to grow, which means it takes longer for them to heal. You could say that you could train hard for, say, like Wednesday and Sunday, right? You go to both practices and you train hard. I bet you if you take 2 weeks off from training, you will come back stronger than if you continue to train for those preceding 2 weeks. Rest is amazing for anything, any kind of training, right? The second thing is try to not use ice. Ice is great for injuries, but it kills gains. What you should use instead is heat and compression, right? So those ice sleeves that people use, I don't use that. Come on now, guys, don't use those things. I just don't use ice. Don't use cold unless you're injured. When you're injured, yes, you want to reduce that swelling somewhat so that you can get past the pain, but the swelling actually helps healing. That's the point of not using ice, right? The swelling is blood trying to get to that area to heal it. So you don't want to stop that. You have to mentally prepare yourself to just deal with the pain. It will come down. Okay? That also goes into some kind of healing endurance, right? But yeah. The third thing that I would say is eating food. I don't think people are eating enough food for growth and gains. It's not always just protein either. You don't need to eat a ton of protein. Carbohydrates are great. Great for energy, great for healing. Eat more carbohydrates post-training with your protein, okay? That's gonna help you repair. Your body will have what it needs to repair to get you back to where you need to be and to grow bigger, right? I'm gonna give y'all a little bonus too. If you're new to arm wrestling and you've noticed that when you're arm wrestling really hard, whatever, you get very, very sharp pains through your arms and it just doesn't seem to go away. It takes, you arm wrestle somebody for a while, you arm wrestle another guy, you arm wrestle another guy, your arm hurts really bad, you walk around, you go, oh, it hurts, ouch, Most people hold their breath. This is bad, right? Lactate builds up. There's not enough oxygen in your body for it to move that lactate out of the muscle and get processed by the liver. Take deep breaths. Deep, deep breaths. When your arms really hurt, sharp pains, deep breaths. Take deep breaths. And that could help you alleviate some of the pain that you're having. Getting more oxygen inside your body. It's huge. It's huge. There's a lot more that we're going to be going over, so stay tuned.